Hello, here is the Lost Cosmonaut with part 6 and hopefully the last part of the second mission of the Morning Sun campaign in the game Order of Battle World War II. In case you're curious, I'm not aware that there is another Order of Battle game except World War II. So the subtitle is the is, if you so want, as good as a title at this stage. But who knows? Maybe they will make other games like it. As such, I don't find. I enjoy this game. I enjoyed this game. You can tell maybe by the fact that I've been playing it. Now, what coming back to our sheep, what we feared would happen in the last round, namely that our light tank division here would be cut off and cut off from supplies too, which is something that you can recognize with a little red dot next to the unit's hit points here. That actually happened, which is unfortunate. Which I have certain hopes. Yes, why did it happen? Because the enemy unit that was entrenched here moved to there and attacked the infantry there, in fact, which is why they don't have 6 points anymore like in the last round, but 4 points. I intend to resolve this situation here by moving that infantry division there, where they are hopelessly, the odds are 0+ on our side and 3+ on their side, so we're not going to attack them. We're just going to reinforce this unit and hope that they can hold the line, so to speak. That, on the other hand, allows us to move our heavy tank forward and conduct an attack on their infantry division, which severely weakens them, which also means that that infantry division has fewer chances of dislocating that one, which means that if we move our light tank division there, and, well, we can in fact conduct an attack on their infantry there. I'm not sure, no, we're not going to move forward yet. I want to keep the light tank on the road tiles here. But that will have more or less removed this infantry division as a menace to our advancing forces. Oh, actually, I think we have an opportunity to destroy it altogether. And yes, wonderful. Okay, now this infantry division of our enemy was here before. Now they're moving over the river. That is rather convenient, I admit, since it allows our infantry and cavalry units on this side of the river to encircle them from this side. With little opposition, I expect. So let's move them forward. Wonderful. Now the artillery units will have nothing, or I hope will have nothing to fear from that area anymore, but to be sure, let's... yes, no other enemy divisions here, so let's just move the artillery there. I want to get it close because there will be defenders there, after all. And our heavy infantry unit will move there. So in the first turn we've gained a considerable amount of ground on the enemy here. In the end they only have 2 units, or I expect that they only have 2 units. That infantry division there, the whatever unit they have in the town there. Our fighter is useless here, now that we have eliminated the enemy's air force. So we're just going to put him back to base. And in our base, all our other fighters are already reinforced. So the air war is done for this scenario. Now, on the northern front we have 1, 2, 3, and I anticipate 4 enemy divisions to deal with. This is not particularly pleasant. it will, on the other hand, it will cost us less time, all in all, since our troops here are already so close to the objective, whereas we still have some ground to cover on the southern front. So, we're not going to attack with the artillery, because it is severely disorganized, or let us say fatigued. It is fatigued, and I want to give it another round just to recover. But we will use the heavy infantry there, not to bombard the guys in the hills, in the mountains rather, but to bombard them over here. Yes, wonderful. So that we can use our tank to attack them. And they retreat, wonderful. Move forward. Now, our odds against the guys in the hills down here, not in the hills, in the valley down here, are better than against those that are still hanging out in the mountain range. So we will attack the infantry down here. 3 hit points taken off there. Oh, but we suffered severely after that attack. Minus 2 hit points. I don't like that. But I suppose it's not devastating. Now in the north we have totally destroyed the cavalry, the enemy cavalry that was threatening us here. I am not inclined to conduct an assault on that town with that infantry division dug in there, since I doubt that they will actually move to attack us. So let us withdraw our forces. We've held the line. We've moreover annihilated the forces that were trying to jeopardize that part of the line. So not total success maybe, but a success all the same. Let's end the round. They did pretty good for an infantry unit that was attacking from a riverside embankment. Let's see. Oh, no, these other forces won't be able to reach them. But this infantry division can advance there, and it will have, when attacking them, the support of the light tank division. So let's move the rest of the guys forward. Wonderful. The heavy tank can access that tile, so we're going to move the light tank there, just so we can move the heavy tank there. Now, he has a 4+ versus 0 advantage. The infantry has 3+ versus 1. So we understand if well, first of all, let's just bombard them with the artillery. There we go. And now it's a solid 5 versus 0. So yeah, let's attack them with the heavy tank. I knew it would pay out to move, rather, to deploy the armored units on the flat plains here. Now we have that infantry unit there. What about the heavy infantry? Well, the heavy infantry can move up to that spot here. So let's move that infantry there, since we must eventually reveal the defenders of that town. Let's do it right now. And get the heavy infantry into position. Wonderful. Now, those guys, we're just going to move back onto solid ground instead of having them crawl along the riverbank, and reinforce them. We have cash enough, and we can still use them. Now here in the north, we're going to give the artillery some rest. we're just going to use the heavy infantry unit there to... Ah, they can't. I would have hoped that they could have reached that, that division there, but they cannot. So instead, I don't like the guys in the mountains up there. So let's soften those. This infantry division here, we're just going to reinforce. Or then engage in combat. And with our tank unit, we are going to... Well, it's... Yeah, we're going to attack that unit there and use the odds 4-0 in our favor. Good. But we're not going to advance yet. I want to get rid of those guys, I suppose, or at least I want to weaken them, that division, a bit more before we actually move on to that town. Now, our fighter can hit the ground. Wonderful. We haven't experienced any counterattacks here in this gap in the wall on the railway line yet, which is fortunate. And in the north, our units are there. Let's move the cavalry there, reinforce it, and we're good. Next round. Oof. So the front line has shifted. There seems to be a unit moving up there. No? Funny. I must have misinterpreted that. I'm sorry. But on the other hand, our artillery unit is in a better fighting condition now. We're going to use it to attack not the militia unit, but here, the regular Chinese infantry unit. And use our tank to attack the very same unit. Get them out of the way, wonderful. Now, with this regular infantry division, we're not going to attack, again, the guys in the mountain. For that is, I suppose, one of the advantages when you have a unit, an infantry unit stationed on a mountain tile. All the other targets become so much more attractive, yes, than that one unit. So instead we're going to attack this unit here. And destroy it, as a matter of fact. But we're not going... Well, actually we could advance. No, we're not going to advance. I don't want... at the same time, the guys in that mountain tile will also suffer a movement penalty, so I doubt that they could actually cut us off there. So, yeah, let's advance and finally reveal the defenders of that town. One of our two final mission objectives. Now, here in the south, how can you move? We're going to move that infantry division there, for the good reason that that will allow us to move the cavalry over here. 4 plus against 0. This is a good opportunity with the odds this much in our favor. We're going to use actually a core force here, just for the sake of some extra XP for that core force, and so we're going to use them in other missions as well. So we might as well start leveling them, so to speak, now. The other handy advantage of this is that now this, our light tank division, can cross the river, attack that militia unit, most likely defeat it, and in the same move cross over to the other side where it will not suffer a movement penalty anymore, as well as the other advantages. Disadvantages, I mean. Yeah, of course. Wonderful. Now, this infantry unit here has the advantage now that it will have the support of the light tanks there in attacking the defenders of that town. This is a heavy infantry unit, that is good. Yeah, we're going to move... First of all, we're going to move the artillery there, since we'll have a range on the defenders of that town. And we're going to, yes, all things considered, we're going to move that heavy infantry division there, because that will allow us in the same round to conduct a mortar attack on the defenders of that town. As for that heavy tank unit, I think we're just going to conduct a river crossing with it. Now, here we have another heavy infantry unit, pretty immobile, which is unfortunate, but slowly we're going to bring it closer to the enemy there, so that it too can help bombarding the enemy. Now, up here we've done everything, yes. And in the north, they're just digging in, wonderful. Let's reinforce our fighter. And end our turn. That was hard hitting. Well, on the one hand, at least we've got those guys down the mountainside. But on the other hand, that infantry division is severely weakened. So we will have to move it at least out of harm's way from this enemy. Move it there, reinforce it, good. Use the artillery to attack that unit over there that just came down from the mountain tunnel, as well as the mortars of the heavy infantry division there. Good. Yes, we're going to move the heavy tank division there in order to attack that unit there. I doubt we will annihilate it, but again, it does mean a bit more. It does mean a few experience points more for us. For our core unit, actually. That tank is, after all, part of our core army. Now, over here, the odds are not in favor of our light tank conducting an attack, but we can reinforce it. Now that's a regular infantry division. Maybe it would have made more sense to move. No, it would have made more sense to move that light tank unit over here and let this infantry unit fill in the space, so to speak. As is, we will have to... Well, I think this heavy tank can take a bit of punishment. We're going to move the cavalry there. Well, in the next turn, we will move our light tank, so we can, over here, have the infantry fill in that position and the cavalry fill in that position. So, infantry there, cavalry there, light tank there. And in the meantime, we're just going to bombard them. With an option of actually conducting an attack on them. But at the same time, this will seal the fate, at least, of the southern victory point we still need. So we are going to conduct attacks with that infantry division on them, on the defenders. Let's see how it fares. 1 hit point for 1 hit point, not particularly, not very splendid, but on the other hand it did contribute towards modifying the odds our tank division has against the defenders of that town from 1+ to 1 to 2 to 0+. So Oh, that did some damage. And that ends that round. Yes, I think it's clear that we're going to win this round in this recording. And commence not an development, not at all, but certainly maneuver ourselves in a position where we can attack the defenders of that town from several sides. So let us reinforce that infantry division so that it stays alive. Now, this one will most likely not only annihilate... Yes, it will annihilate that unit. It's clear. Yes, of course. Yeah, move forward. There we go. And artillery bombardment, just weakening those guys there. Now, down here, we've practically defeated them. So, cavalry there, light tank there, just as we said. And I think we're going to use that infantry division. Wait, let us just use the heavy infantry to conduct a mortar attack. Wonderful. Didn't take away any hit points, but it did improve the odds that our infantry unit will have in its assault. Completely annihilated the enemy. Wonderful. The southern objective is taken. Now all we need is that little town there, which will be a matter of really just a few rounds. They're not even conducting any offensive operations anymore, for which I cannot blame them, since I don't think they have any units left with which they could actually conduct an offensive, or rather in this case a counter-offensive. So, now our focus is entirely on the northern front. Let's move our artillery forward, reinforce that infantry division, use this heavy infantry division to conduct a mortar attack. Now, what are the odds of a tank attack? 2 to 0 plus. Those are good odds. Oh. I do admire the opposition they put up. I know it's an AI enemy, but can a man not admire an AI? But also with I suppose the role-playing element to it all. Yes, I admire those desperate defenders. We're ending our turn. There we go. Artillery attack. You know the drill by now. Mortar attack. We're going to use the heavy tank to attack them. Didn't entirely destroy the unit, but that's unimportant. We've captured the final victory point. And there we go. Major victory. We've achieved our secondary objective, which was a fairly easy one. We've achieved, obviously, all the primary objectives, or else we wouldn't have won the game. And that's it. So, let's exit. No, we will not save the replay. And I don't want to consult the specialization panel now. We've completed the second mission. Let's look forward to the third mission. Take care.